Okay, welcome everyone. First home buyer government grants and schemes. I'm just going to get straight into it. This is clearly a no BS YouTube channel. I don't do intros. I don't do that crap. I don't want to spend time doing that. Let's just get into what you come for, and that's the content. I skip through every intro ever on a YouTube video anyway, so let's just get straight into it. This is probably the biggest and the best one. It's going to be stamp duty concession. So stamp duty can be now, especially in Victoria, can be upwards of $30,000. So first home buyers are exempt from paying stamp duty up to $600,000 and tapered stamp duty up to $750,000. For off the plan purchases, you will only pay stamp duty for the land component of the property. But I would never, ever, ever recommend buying off the plan. But if you think it suits you, then you will not pay stamp duty for the land component of the property. So land only purchases also eligible. Perhaps you want to build, which I don't recommend either, but maybe if you're a builder or a tradie of any kind and you can save money in that department, then maybe that's for you. Right now, it's kind of difficult to make money with a build in Australia, but still, if you want to maybe just want to buy land and hold it and build it in a later time, then yeah, you won't pay stamp duty as well. So there's a $10,000 government grant. Yes, again, I don't recommend building. The reason that the government has these things, these $10,000 grants for builders and no stamp duty for off the plan and stuff, is because they want to stimulate the property economy. They want properties to be built. They want homes to be built. Because right now there's a rental crisis in Australia, and that's purely because not enough homes are being built. It's cost far too much money in the past couple of years to build, so it's just not catching up. Where there's the supply and demand is out of whack. So people can just charge whatever they want for rent, and you can't blame them. But yeah, it's kind of causing a few issues across the country. So which is sad, of course. So yeah, if you want to build, they're going to put a $10,000 grant, give you a $10,000 grant. You must live in the property for at least 12 months, sorry. And the $10,000 forms part of your deposit. So remember that. And then this is probably the second best one, if not the best. It'll be the stamp duty concession and then the first home guarantee scheme. So this allows purchasers to avoid paying lender's mortgage insurance, LMI, when purchasing a property with less than a 20% deposit. So usually you would pay a insurance to the bank. If it's not your first property, you'll pay insurance to the bank when you're buying with a less than 20% deposit, basically covering the bank's ass in case you can't pay it back. So in this case, if you're a first home buyer, then you don't have to pay that. You must have 5% genuine savings, and it must be across at least 6 months. You're kind of saving approximately the same amount each week. Yes, that 5% genuine savings, they will look at that and make sure it's consistent, like mum and dad just haven't given you money. So for purchases up to 850,000. So if you're living in a city, Melbourne or Sydney, where it's really expensive, for purchases up to 850,000, you can get a decent property with a 5% deposit. I would really be encouraging people to just get in there with a 5% deposit. Saving for a 20% deposit is going to take you years and years. You're better off just getting in there as soon as possible. Start paying down your mortgage. Start building equity. Not paying down your mortgage if you don't want to do that, but start building equity and start paying your mortgage rather than rent. So it can be new or existing property. You must make less than $125,000 per annum individually, or $200,000 for couples. And then this next one's a really good one as well. Family Home Guarantee Scheme. This scheme allows single parents or guardians to avoid paying LMI when purchasing a property with less than a 20% deposit. So must have 2% genuine savings. So that's very little for purchases up to 850,000. New or existing property, and you must make less than $125,000 per annum, and you must be single. So okay, the next one, Victorian Home Buyer Fund. This one's a little bit complex, and I'll tell you who it suits. It suits someone who has a lot of savings, but probably doesn't have the serviceability, doesn't have the income to be able to afford to perhaps pay the repayments. So the Victorian government will contribute 25% of the purchase price of the property. This amount must be paid back, including any accumulated equity within the property. You must have 5% genuine savings. For purchases up to 950,000, new or existing property must make less than $125,000 per annum, or $200,000 for couples. So they will take some of that loan for you and they will pay that back for you. So you put up 5% genuine savings, and then you only take a loan out for 75% of that property. The government takes 25%. For payments, you only pay 75%. and they pay 25, but then when you build equity, they take 25% and you take 75. So this is probably for someone, perhaps you've been a really, really good saver, but your income just isn't quite there. This would suit you. And I would recommend this. Absolutely, I would recommend it because you're going to get in there and you're going to get your head in the game. You're going to start building equity. Yeah, the government takes some, but you might get in 2-3 years earlier than what you would have. So I'll always recommend that for whoever it may suit. And then the first home super saver scheme, I've talked about this a lot, but you should be doing this. And if you've got kids that are like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, you should be definitely recommending that they do this as well. The first home super saver scheme. First home buyers can opt to contribute up to $15,000 per year, $50,000 in total, in additional super contribution towards the purchase of their first home. So it just goes into a savings account, $15,000 per year, so they can never touch it. They can't, spend it on a night out or buy a PS5 or anything when you're not looking. You must occupy the property for at least 6 months within the first 12 months of ownership and must not have previously owned property in Australia. So yeah, you should be getting on the first home super saver scheme as soon as possible. If your deposit is, really not there, maybe you've only got a few grand in savings, maybe you have no savings, maybe you're a bad saver like me, you should definitely be getting on the first home super saver scheme as soon as possible. Okay, guys, in conclusion, stamp duty concession, take advantage of that. Absolutely take advantage of that. And then the first home guarantee scheme, take advantage of that. Get in with 5%. It's going to take you years to save, especially with the cost of living right now. Get in with a 5% loan as soon as possible. And then the first home super saver scheme as well. So that's the top three. I don't recommend building, but it does suit some people for sure. So if you want to build, then by all means, there's a few grants there that are going to help you with that as well. So that's it, guys. No fuss. If you want to download this, it's in the comments. It's in the description. Cool. Thank you.